Okay. So for today's class we'll be learning about information architecture. So information architecture has to do with how you organize information in your digital products, either when you're designing a mobile app, a website, a SaaS application, a web application, any digital product at all, either for smartwatch or for smart TV. So there's a way you organize your information that can make a user very confused when they come to use your application. So the information I'm talking about is text, written content, videos, images, all those stuff. So information architecture basically has to do with organization of your information in your digital product to actually help the user to find information fast and easy. So information architecture connects three important elements, which is the user, the content, and the context. So the user is the person that is looking for the information. Sorry. Please, can you all see my screen? I want to be sure you can see my screen clearly. Can you see my screen clearly? If you can see my screen clearly, just say something in the chat section. There is no need to unmute your mic, please. Okay, so let's continue. So information architecture connects three important elements, which is the user, the content, and the context. So the user, the person that is looking for the information, the content, the information itself, and the context, the place where the user goes to find the information, the place where the information lives. So we're going to be explaining that in details. So for the person looking for the information, so there are different places in which people can go to find information. It can be maybe somebody goes to Google to search for information about a particular product. So let's just move further. You understand in details. So for the user now who is consuming the content, what goal does the user have? What perception does the um, for the user who is consuming the content, what goal does the user have? What expectation do they have? So there are basically different reasons why people come to your digital products to search for information. So most times there are different ways in which people can come to your application. Sometimes somebody can be doing a Google search online about, let me say, you develop a particular fintech application. So somebody might go online to search for a fintech app um, that helps somebody to make transaction very easy in Nigeria. Let me say, the as you created that digital product, you also created a website that talks about a landing page rather that talks about that digital product, that app you designed. So most times somebody can come to the Google to search for um, fintech application that makes transaction very easy in Nigeria. And most times your blog post can pop up. So what I'm basically trying to explain is that sometimes people can come to your website from different places. Sometimes, if your blog post pop up through the search the person makes online, the person can read content about on your blog and maybe want to know more about this company that is behind that app. Because most times somebody can do a random search on Google and different blog posts is going to come up. So when somebody reads that blog post and the person gets informed, the person might want to even download the application because the blog was very, very helpful. So most times you need to like know about the your user. That means after you have conducted your research, you have created your persona, Maybe as we move on, we'll learn how to create a persona. So when you create your persona, all those things brings clarity for you to know who you're designing for. Even despite the fact you already know who you're designing for, you also need to know how to like structure your content for that particular user based on the issue that they are going through, based on the challenges they are having, based on their expectation. So for the context, what kind of information is available? How relevant is the information to the user? So in as much as you are coming up with informations on your digital product, you also need to make sure that the content is also relevant. Make sure that for context now, the information has to be engaging. You need to also know how user engage with your content. So let's learn how to create an information architecture. So there are a few steps to take when creating an information architecture. You understand your user goal. So basically, this is after you have conducted your research, you have come up, you have understood your user problem, your user pain point. You also come up with your persona. So a persona is basically something that helps you to humanize your user, because after you have done your research, you might know the person you're designing your digital product for at heart, but it's better you design a persona. Let me show you an example of a persona so that you understand what I'm trying to explain. So just give me a sec. Let me. So if you can see my screen very clearly, this is an example of a persona. So basically, remember what we're trying to do. We're trying to like go through the steps to follow when creating an information architecture. So the first thing is understand the user goal. So after you have done your user research, you understand your user, you understand your pain points. So you create your persona. This persona is being created after you have done your research, because it's the things the information you get from your research that you are going to use to create your persona. So this is like a simple structure of a persona. So the purpose of a persona is to help you humanize your users, the people that are actually going through the problem that you're designing for. So it's for you to humanize them. So it's one thing to have them at heart. It's another thing for you to like create a persona for you to actually know them and know that they are real human beings, to avoid any form of bias. So this is like a persona. A persona must contain the image of the user, though the if you cannot get the image of the actual user, you can use a stock image, but all other information here is actually real because it's being powered by the research you have made. So as you can see here, we outline the person's name. You need to write down the person's name. The person, this is actually a persona for a university application that can manage the affairs of a university. So is like the name of the student, the course, the person's course, the level, the person's faculty, and the age. So even the bio. So this bio is like explaining the person's motive, the person's motivations. You just write it here. Then the needs, the person's needs, and you also outline the person's frustration. So this is like a simple persona. So why I'm reviewing this persona is that for you to understand your user goal, for you to actually create an information architecture that can be very easy for them to navigate. Because one thing about information architecture is that if it's being done right, it's very very easy for users to navigate your platform at ease, and whenever they come across any information at all, whether it is a text, whether it's a written content for them to read, they can actually understand it. And another thing you also need to bear in mind is that you need to know your users. you need to also be kind of mindful of the kind of words you use, because you need to make use of content that is very easy for the user to understand. Don't use ambiguous word. Don't use ambiguous word. Use words that are very, very relatable. As we move on, you understand what I'm trying to explain. So that's for like understanding your user goal. You need to understand your user very well, because if you understand the user's pain points, understand who the product is for, understand what they are going to do when they have the products in their hand, the goals they want to achieve with the product, it will help you to structure your information very well. So another thing is that you also need to understand business goal. So if there's a way you're going to structure information in your digital product that it can actually make a business to actually lose money. So most times before you create any digital product at all, either for a brand or for any company at all, make sure you are always in sync with the company goal, with the company vision, because it's actually going to make you to like, it's actually going to influence the way you come up with product. Know what the company wants to achieve at the end of the road after they finish designing, developing this particular data, but what do they want to achieve? So you need to like be in sync, because any digital product you are creating, the project owner will always want to use that digital product to make money at the wrong run. So you need to like be in sync with the company vision. So another thing, another step to take for you to come up with information architecture is competitive and analysis. So I've explained about this in our previous class, where you review other existing applications. It can be the one that is doing well, it can be the one that has a little bit of defect, so that you can actually learn how you are going to make your own product you're designing for very unique. So most times reviewing the project, the digital product of your competitors actually make you to know what how your users, the kind of information that your users are looking for online, or your users are expected to see, the kind of information that if you put on your platform, they can easily digest it at ease. So as we move on, we're going to understand this kind of information. So most time that's like one of the benefits of like reviewing your competitors, doing competitive analysis, because you tend to know how they structure. These people are already in the same line of business with you. They already have the same kind of customers that you want to have. So you look at the way they structure their information. Most of the times when structuring information in your digital product, either in a website, you have to make sure that it's being structured in a way that it can be easily digestible. So there is another thing you also need to notice that um, there is different reasons in which websites nowadays have blogs, because one thing is that those their blog pages actually contains different resources. It can be a blog post, it can be a help or documentation page that actually contains important information. Let me say you are designing a health tech, that's why the health tech application. So that's why the fact you have already designed that application, there are other information that you can produce that can actually be very helpful for your users. Despite the fact you have paid attention to the way you structure information on your website, on your mobile app, sometimes you also need to like produce important information on your blog, because in reality, how users actually find visible. For example, you want to be found on Google, all those stuff. You need to like create content that are actually like relatable, that are actually useful to your user. Because if, for example, you have a blog page that contains rich content, so most times people can go to your browser, they can search for a particular keyword, and the keyword is going to link to, if your blog post contains that particular content that they are looking for, Google is going to show your blog post. And most time when they finish reading your blog content or all those stuff, they can even want to know the brand behind that blog post. And most times it makes them loyal customers and all those stuff. So most times you can be very, very strategic in the way you position your information, because it can actually make you at the long run for you to get users, for you to actually make money as a business. Please, are we all following? Please, do you understand what I'm explaining so far? Are you following? Okay. Yes. So another thing you also need to create is like site maps, creating of site maps, because creating of site maps actually makes things to be very, very visible to you. Let me show you an example of a site map. In our next class, we'll learn how to create this in details. So let me show you. So this site map, I created it in Figma. So let me go to a particular place I go to when I want to get inspiration for landing page. I want to show you something, show you guys something. So I'll be introducing also this website later. So let's just focus on information architecture first. So this particular site map now, this is just like let me show you what I mean. So if you look at this particular website now, if you watch this particular website, the first navigation we're seeing now is the product, customers, company, pricing, and change log, even the sign in and demo pages. Most of all these links that we see here, all these things are all these navigation links here, they are leading to other pages. As you can see, only this product now has so many pages under them. So most times you need to like create like a simple sitemap that is going to show you, okay, when somebody clicks on goes to this product page, what are they going to see? The list of pages. Because for example, if you are designing a very huge e-commerce site like let's review let me go to AliExpress. Let me show you what I mean. So if you look at this AliExpress, if you have to take your time to look at this particular e-commerce site, you notice that this particular e-commerce site has thousands of pages. So sitemap now is basically like structuring. Okay, when somebody comes to this place, what should they see? If you watch now, when we click on all categories, we are seeing toys, we are seeing plenty, so many things here. These are not information that you can carry in your head. You need to like have a sitemap that is going to let you know, okay, when I click on toys, these are the things I'm going to see. Because another way to also look at information architecture is like just like when you're trying to create an create a house plan. From the bedroom the person goes to this place, from this place the person goes to this place. So that's another way to like look at information architecture, basically like structuring different pages, because I'm talking about sitemap now, structuring different pages, because this particular e-commerce website contains thousands of pages. So in this kind of case, we need information architecture to like structure the informations we're seeing, to structure the pages. There's another step to take when creating information architecture, which is user flow, where you also create a diagram that structures the user, how the user achieve tasks in the platform. Because most of all these things, you need to create it so that you actually know the way your user actually does things in the platform. Though at the end of the day, you're still going to test your application to know whether they really understand. So let me explain how to create a very simple sitemap. So let's use this website for example. So if you check here, when somebody comes to products, we'll have um, this particular link here on unified feedback. We have this one. We have this one. So in this kind of case, these are pages. These are links that leads to other pages. So you need to like create a very simple sitemap that shows, okay, when the person comes to products, which is this um navigation here, this product here, when they come here, they are going to see two tabs, which is capability and solutions. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm showing you. Capabilities and solution. And under capabilities, these are the list of pages that the user can access under capabilities. possibilities. Then under solution, these are the list of pages. So that way, it can actually guide you when you are designing. When you are designing, you know that okay, after this page, this is the next page. It will actually make you to understand how your application, the design you're coming up with, how it actually flows from this page to this page, because that's another thing you also need to take note of as a product designer. Despite the fact you are designing an application, you also need to like pay attention to the user flow, to the way you structure each of your pages, how one page link to another page too. So another thing you also need to note when coming up with your information architecture is the kind of label you use. This as an example of a label. Label is like something like this. We know quite well that if we come to this place, we'll see top brand, home, garden. This is like a a text button. So it's when you hover on it that it will hover like this. So this is like a text button. There are different kind of buttons. We have text button, field button, outline button. So when we move to the practical aspect, you understand all of this. So you can see here, this particular place, they call this home and garden. They call here hair extension. So they call here more. So the user know that if they want to see more, they can click here to see more categories. So you actually need to like anytime you are naming elements, whenever you are designing, give it a name that people can actually understand. For example, registration. We all know what if somebody look at this particular button and it's called register. Somebody knows that okay, this is a place where I'll register or for me to create an account. Don't give this name. Don't give this word registration another name that can confuse you. You cannot give this one starter file or starter page. People will not know what starter page is, because ever since there's something called mental model, because people actually know the way website looks like, mobile app looks like, ever since the existence of website and mobile app has been in ever since the existence of mobile digital products, either mobile app, websites, web apps or desktop application, etc. People already have a conventional way how some things look, because they have been interacting with thousands of websites. So anytime you are designing something, try to make sure the labels you are giving to your buttons, to the card, whether to your cards, to understand what a card is when we go into UI patterns, you have to make sure that it's something that when they read, they can understand. Even if you are using icon, try to use a text under the icon so that the user can actually understand what that icon actually means. Because most of all these things, this last statement I just made helps it very easy for some content to be easily digestible. Men looking at this car now, keep just this icon now, this particular icon I'm hovering about. Somebody might not know what it means, but if you add a label under it, fast delivery, they'll know okay, it's fast delivery. And this fast delivery, somebody can easily understand what this means, all these things, because they have actually been going through thousands of websites where they use such word fast delivery, delivery day, all those mostly fast delivery. I've been seeing several websites use this word fast delivery, safe payment, all those stuff. So we try to use words that when the user look at it, they will understand what it means so that they can use your website very easy. So another thing you also need to know about labeling your content is that the kind of name you give to any section of your website. Let's use this this AliExpress for example. So imagine now that you are you are a new user and you want to, let me say, purchase maybe a laptop here. I want to explain what a mental model is, because it's something you also need to like bear in mind whenever you're creating application. So whenever somebody comes, for example, you come to this website for the first time, your mental model, and yes, you want to see different type of laptops. So your mental model is actually going to tell you to use the search bar to search, because that's another easy way to like search for laptops. So another way you can also search for laptop is by coming here. You can perceive that okay, if I click on this all categories, maybe I can see is a category that talks about laptops or something related to where I can see computer, desktop, and the rest. So let me look for it here. So this one say okay, this one is computer. Let me see if I can see anyone here. Let me look for it carefully. Okay, let me just use the search bar. So let me say the first thing that comes to my mind when I come to this particular application is for me to use the search bar and search for MacBook lap MacBook. Yeah, let me just search for MacBook. I'll press enter. So so right now is I don't know why it seems like the filter is not working. Okay, so let's just okay, this one is showing me the MacBook. Okay, let me search for laptops instead. Let me see what it will show me. Okay, so now I've searched for laptops and I've seen different laptops. So another thing you need to note about mental model is that most times somebody might not want to use the search bar. The person might want to use the category option that was at the top. Let's go back again. I use the category option here. So I'm trying to look for the session where I'm going to find laptops. So phones and okay, computers. And let me click on computers. Let's see what it will show us. Okay, so now you can see what happens. So once I click on computer now, they have different categories here. So let me click on laptops. Okay, it still brought me back to the same page. So you can see that this particular laptop, they structure their information in a way that somebody can actually know how to navigate. Let me do that again so that you understand what I was trying to show you. So basically, mental model basically has to do with there's a particular way in which user perceive a particular digital product to work. Let's take e-commerce website for example. So when somebody comes here, because most times you need to, as a product designer, you need to come up with design that are very very intuitive. That you any product you design and you have to teach somebody how to use that product. What I mean, they have to hold the person's hand, go to this place, go to this place. That product is not actually solving a problem, because one of our major goals as product designers is to make products that are very easy to use while you are still solving the problem you want to solve with your digital products. So, for example, you come to this e-commerce website and you want to um, search for laptops. You want to buy laptop. Your mind will tell you to come to this search bar first and search for laptops. Another thing that your mind can also tell you to come to this category. So let me say, for example, you are coming to look for computer and they give a wrong naming to the computer. Like me looking at this computer now, computer office and education, you know that okay, if I come here now, I can see something that I can see the set of laptops I'm looking for. I can see different laptops category where I can choose from because they gave this place a very good label, which is computer. That's why the fact they added the office and education. But when looking at the icon and the text beside it, you know that okay, when I come to this place, I'm going to find what I'm looking for. So what I mean by label is that the text you put, like the way that this particular text I'm pointing at now is a label here. They label this in a way that I know quite well, okay? Because this place say computer, okay, I can find my laptop here. So let me click on it. So once I click on it now, you can see I'm seeing laptops, I'm seeing tablets. It actually leads me to what I was looking for. So I will now click on laptop, which was my the actual reason why I came to this website. So as little as all these things is, it can actually create a difference when you are trying to design a product. The way you you structure information, the way you, because structuring of information is also going to affect the way different pages link to each other. The sitemap. So this is an example of a sitemap. Already explain what a sitemap is. So another thing you also need to consider is the user flow. User flow has to do with the series of tasks the user go through to achieve a particular goal. There are series of tasks users go through for them to achieve a particular goal with your digital product. You also need to like create a diagram, because most times creating all those diagrams can actually like give you, in our next class we'll learn how to create those diagrams. We'll actually give you like, okay, this is how my user is going to move from point A to point B. So an example of a user flow is that, for example, when the I'm trying to explain now, please pay attention. So when the user goes to Play Store, they download your app. When they download your app, they open it. When they open it, the next thing they are going to do is to um, log in. If the user okay, let me go start with create account. So when they open your application, the first thing they are going to do is for them to log in. So when they log in, if they already have an account already, if they already had the app before on their application, they are just going to log in instead of to create an account. So if, for example, the user now forget their password, they can't remember their password, what is the next thing they are going to do? I'm trying to explain what the user flow is. The next thing the user is going to do, because they forget their password, is to tap on forget password. So when they forget their password, they're going to have there will be some verification that will be sent to their email. Once they confirm their password, they will come to the home page. But for a new user now, the new user is going to create an account. Once the user creates an account, the user login, the user will come to the home page. When they come to the home page, what should they see? The homepage can be for a website. A dashboard has a homepage. Even a mobile app has a homepage. What should they see? Should they see list of different services? If, for example, you're designing a what's it called? A fintech app. So let me open one of my old design to explain better so that we understand. So let's create a simple user flow for this. That will just be explaining. In our next class, we'll do the practical. So if you look at this app, this is like a fintech app where users can pay for TV subscription, buy airtime, electricity bill, and to buy internet data. So, so this is how the user flow is going to be. If you watch here, we'll have two onboarding screens. When the user open the app for the first time, they will see the two onboarding screens that welcomes them. There are different ways to design an onboarding screen. When we go over to the UI part, you understand better. So when the user open the app, they see an onboarding screen. If they are new users, they'll be asked to create an account. If they're a returning user, they'll be asked to log in. So once a new user creates an account and log in, they'll come straight to the home page. But for a user that is already that already has the app, once the user opens the app, there'll be no need for the user to see all these onboarding screens again. The user will just come to log in. For example, the old user has forgotten their password, they can't remember their password, they'll be asked to do forget password. So a prompt to come up for them to check their email, for them to check tap the link on their email to refer them to a particular play. The link will be tapped. When they tap the link, they'll be asked to come and enter their new password. When the password is reset, it will be verified and they'll log in again. And once they log in, they'll come to this service page that shows them TV subscriptions, buy airtime, electricity bills, and buy data. And so, what will happen when they click on this place? each of these four services listed there has individual pages. And most times when we're starting out, if you don't like create a user flow, understand the sitemap of your application, it might be very, very confusing. You might not know how it's going to flow. And it might actually affect your prototype, and it can actually confuse the user in their navigation in your application. So when they click on this TV subscription, there's something they're going to see. So, for example, the user buy and click on this buy airtime, they will see this page where they'll enter their phone number, network, and amount. So, when the user click on network, there will be a pop up here. So, when the user has bought the airtime, they'll be asked for transaction preview before they make payments. So, when they make the payments, um, if the payment is successful, this is what to show. If the transaction failed, the user will come back to this place again. This is like a simple user flow. How the user basically achieve tasks when they go through your applications, your digital product. So you need to like have an understanding of how the user is going to navigate through the application. It's going to like give you an understanding of what is going to happen. And most times, when you understand the user flow, it also help you to prototype, because you need to prototype your work. So most times, when prototyping, you can prototype your designs, your Figma designs, and test it on real users. There's a way you can send the prototype link to users to view these particular designs on their phone, the prototype parts. So when the user interacts with it, you confirm if the navigation of the platform is very easy for the user, because most times when prototyping your work and you're testing your prototype on users, you need to actually observe the user, observe their facial expression, understand what the user says, what they do, how what they are feeling about the overall design, because all those informations you get from them, you can actually use it to improve your work. So most times when you design, you need to like avoid any form of bias. Always remember that you're not designing for yourself, you're designing for the user, and the user is not you. So you need to like make sure you are open to constructive criticism. So most times a user might be using your application. You look at if the user is navigating very easily, understand how the user is moving with their fingers through the app. Because if it's something that is being if it's a mobile app, understand how the user is tapping, understand the facial expression, because most times from the facial expression you know whether the user is having difficulties navigating. Somebody might tell you, oh, the application is good, but when they are using it, they're actually frustrated. So most times you might not follow what they say, but follow what they do. That's why I said pay attention to their facial expression, the way they move around, all those things, because can actually give you more information for you to actually improve a particular feature or to improve the overall design of your application. So that's basically it about information architecture. So far, do anybody have any question? If you have any question, you can drop it in the chat section. So there's another thing you also need to note is that there are different places in which a user can um, okay, let me just do a little practical here with my browser. Let me show you what I mean. Let me do a random search on Google. So let me just do this search. So if you watch very well now, Please pay attention to what I'm showing. This is very important. So I just did a search on Google, gaming laptop price in Nigeria, and different links came out. Different links that leads to different website comes up. So let me remove Nigeria. Let me remove Nigeria. Let me just say gaming laptop price. So you can see now this link brought out Amazon, some brought out Jumia, brought out Gigi. So let's click on Alibaba now. Let's okay, these are different. This one is taking us to iStore. This one is taking us to Jumia. Okay, let's click on the link taking us to Jumia now. So you can see right now that the way we came to this Jumia website was not by going to jumia.com. Please follow me in this. Pay attention to what I'm saying. The way we came to this particular link now, we clicked. It was not by going to Jumia. I did not go to jumia.com. What I just typed was gaming laptop prices, and I tapped on a link, this laptop link, and it led me to Jumia website. So now I've come to this Jumia now. For example, I'm a user, I want to buy a gaming laptop. So let me explore different images that they have. You can read the contents to know more about the product. So let me say, okay. So because of the way I found this information, and the information here is very useful, I might say, okay, this is Jumia. Let me see if they have other products, because I found the information very, very useful. Most times, okay, found the information very useful. If you notice here, there's something called breadcrumbs that can lead you to, let me say, home. It can lead you to home, lead you to computers, because this is like different links that led to this particular page. So let me say, for example, I went through this information. This information was very helpful for me. I said, okay, let me go through Jumia to see if I can see other laptops. Then I will now come to just click on the logo to go to home instead of clicking on the breadcrumbs. So I start viewing through Jumia, and I like the way they structure their information. So I go through it. So I might see a particular thing, okay, computing deals. Then you click on it. Then you start searching on that stuff. Then you can see gaming laptop again. You click on it to see if you can see different gaming laptop. If you watch the different things we are clicking, once we looked at it and once we read the label that was attached to it, we knew that okay, once we click this link, we're coming to gaming. So for example, if for example the place we clicked before we came to this place, if for example we clicked there and when we came here we started seeing laptops that are not gaming laptop, we'll be very, very disappointed, because what we actually wanted to see was gaming laptop. Or for example, you click on gaming laptops and what you're seeing here is furnitures. The user can be very, very confused. Another thing you also need to know is that showing the user the right information and the right time. So you need to like make sure the information that the user is looking for is available on time, because once they're available on time and the user makes use of the information, the user finds this very helpful, the user will become a loyal customer to your brand. So that's just basically it. This is to show you that there are different ways, there are different, and some people call these backlinks. There are different ways in which users can come to your website. It can be from Google search. So design your application in a way. When I mean application, I'm not just referring to mobile apps. I'm referring to digital product as a whole. So design products in a way that if, for example, somebody make a search on Google and they land on your blog page, they can be able to navigate to other aspects of your website at ease. Because most times when you search for something on Google, Google will not lead you to the home page. Google is going to lead you to the page that is linked to what you are searching. I don't know if you understand what I'm explaining. Please, if you understand so far, please say something in the chat section. So you need to like pay attention to that. and create your application in a way that even if somebody lands on the home page or land on the contact us page, the person can navigate to other parts of the website at ease. Structure the information in a way that they can read it, they can understand, it's easier for them to digest all those stuff. Very easy for them. So me looking at this as okay, I'm looking if I want to buy deal, I will just go here and I'll see different deal. Lenovo laptop bag. So you see the kind of name they gave it, they gave to this laptop bag. Printers. We know what a printer is. So the names they give to all these elements, even the names that they gave to each of their pages, all these places, somebody already knows. Even here, the naming they gave to everything. Even if you look at here, you can see the way they section it. Supermarkets have different links under supermarket. Health and beauty has different links to different pages. So for you to, for example, a client hire you to design this kind of system, you need to create an information architecture, because these are the names of all these pages is not something you can carry in your head. You need to like have a map to know, okay, when the user clicks on this is what they will see. When the user clicks on this is what they are going to see. And when a user tap on it, they can actually find the information they are looking for at ease, and it will solve their problem. Please, is somebody trying to say something? I don't know. It looks like somebody's. So far, do anyone has any question? So far, do anyone have any question? Okay, so that will be all for information architecture. So one more thing you also need to note is that when any digital product that you're designing, you also need to have it in mind that the company that is hiring you to design that digital product, at the long run they want to make money from it. So both your design, the user experience, the information structure of the digital product, it has to be on point, because if for example the design is good but the way you structure information in the data product is very confusing, the company will still lose money. So you have to make sure you pay attention to every tiny details whenever you are trying to um, design, you come up with your designs for your any digital product at all. So that will be all for today's class. So since there is no question, we're going to call it a day. So see you in the next class where we explore how to come up with a site map, a user flow, so in details. So see you all in our next class.